Welcome to Psych 350 Personality. My name is Dr. Sam Fiala, and I'll be your instructor for this course. Wanted to do a couple of things with this brief video lecture. Give you an overview of what to expect in the course, and also go over the course syllabus. So if you haven't already done so, go ahead and take a moment to either print out the syllabus or open it up on another screen while you're watching or listening to this video. Okay, one of the first things you'll see on the syllabus is a list of course objectives. So what I hope you are going to get out of this course is what this is. And so the first one talks about you're going to demonstrate knowledge of theories, multiple theories of personality, which you'll do on the chapter quizzes that we'll have, and also at the end of the semester on the final exam, and also in the character study assignment, which we'll talk about in a bit, and also you'll demonstrate your knowledge of the degree to which these theories are supported by empirical research. If you've already taken a moment to look at the textbook, you'll notice that it pretty much goes, there's 8 theories or approaches to personality covered in your textbook. And for each approach or theory, there's a chapter giving you some background information about the theory, and also often about the people behind the development of that theory. And then the next chapter is about research related to that theory. And this is research that is both generated by the theory, and then it's also research that has been informed and refined the theory. Because theories are just working models of knowledge, and as new data come to light via research, theories get revised, and some fall out of favor, right? But that's something you'll become aware of as hopefully throughout this course. Another thing, you'll be critically evaluating empirical studies, and you'll do this largely through the article quizzes, which we'll talk about in a little bit. You'll be able to articulate how the behavior of a particular individual can be understood from the different perspectives of different theories of personality, which you'll be able to demonstrate in your character study assignment, which again we'll talk about in a bit. Gather and interpret information needed to begin the assessment of an individual's personality type, and again that'll fall under that big assignment, character study assignment. And last, articulate an understanding of what factors influence the expression of personality, which also we'll try to assess with the character study assignment, which again we'll come to in a bit. In terms of mode of instruction, this is a fully online course, 100% online. We're using Blackboard. Largely there'll be lecture videos like this where it's a narrated PowerPoint, and I'll give you the PowerPoint slides probably in PDF form in Blackboard too, so you can print those out and take notes on top of the slides if you like as you're listening to the lectures. So with the video lectures, and then quizzes and assignments, and some use of the discussion board. Most of the interaction will be me presenting you information via these video lectures, and then if you have questions for me, emailing me those or posting questions to the general discussion board to your classmates too, if you have things you think they maybe would help you with. An important thing to note though about this online course is, unlike some online courses, this isn't really one where you can do everything in a couple of weeks. Right? We only have 8 weeks to get everything done, and there are deadlines every week that you have to meet, and if you don't meet, you'll be losing points and in danger of not passing the class. So please, please, please try your best to stay up with what's expected of you with the reading, with the quizzes, with your assignment duties. Otherwise, it's not going to go well for you. In terms of required reading, we're using the Berger text. 8th or 9th edition is fine. There are not too many differences between the 8th and 9th edition. I told the bookstore to use the 8th edition because the 9th one didn't come out until May. I didn't have a chance to review it until just recently. And also the 8th edition you can probably find used and cheaper. But again, if you have to buy a new edition for financial reasons, that's fine. You're not going to be, I don't think, in jeopardy of losing any points on quizzes or anything. So the schedule of readings for all the chapters, it's in the calendar at the end of the syllabus. There'll also be some empirical articles that you'll be asked to read, and the list identifying what those articles are will be on Blackboard and under article list. And in that article list, I'll also give you some information about how to find those articles using the PsycInfo database that you can access via the university's library webpage. In terms of contacting me, best way to do it is via the email platform in Blackboard. If for some reason I don't get back to you in a day or two, you can try emailing me also at my regular email outside of Blackboard, which you can see on the syllabus, but I'll also tell you it's sam.fiala@ct.tamus.edu, although that's liable to change at some point this summer. And again, I'll try to get back to you within 24 to 48 hours of receiving your emails. But if it's on the weekend, it may not be till Monday that I get back to you. In terms of participation, as I've already kind of talked about, this isn't a self-paced online class. There are weekly deadlines that you have to keep up with. And I guess it is self-paced in terms of you could work ahead, but you can't really get behind and expect to do well. Okay, in terms of assignments and assessments, things you're expected to do, it's really kind of one big assignment in the class that's divided up into a couple of pieces. That's the character study assignment. And basically what's going to happen is the end goal here is to develop this personality profile, this kind of personality report about some fictional character, where you talk about, okay, this is what they're like in this domain, this one, and this one, and here's how they came to be that way. Right? Here's what the personality is like, and here's how it developed. And all of that discussion being tied to assessment data and to the theories that are described in your text and in the video lectures. Okay, so to do this, a couple of steps. First step, I'm going to leave it up to you all, at least to get us started in deciding what characters we're going to do. And we're not going to do, everybody does their own. We're going to narrow it down to 5 characters, and then you'll pick one of 5. So the first step, nominating character, this first week of class before midnight or 11:59 p.m., Friday, June 6th, you should go to the discussion tab for step 1 and either nominate some fictional character you think, oh, this would be a good person we could do, or if you see somebody else has already posted some character that you think, oh, that would be good, just reply to their posting, and that will get you the points as well. I agree, that sounds great, right? And just doing that, just either nominating a character or replying to somebody else's nomination saying, I agree, that gets you 3 points, easy points. And not doing it by the deadline, you get no points. So just do that, easy 3 points, nominate a character. When thinking about what type of character you might want to do, I was just thinking about somebody that has kind of a really rich backstory that you could, if you don't know, you could do a little bit of research, online or in books even, looking up, okay, well, what do I know about this person? Where do they come from? What are they like? If it's a character that's in one chapter of one book, that might be tricky. But some character that has a larger body of work referencing them would be easier to do. So the examples I gave in the syllabus, Harry Potter, Jo March, her Little Women, Homer Simpson, Buffy from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It needs to be a fictional character, so it can't be you or somebody unless you know a fictional character. But again, either nominate someone or agree with somebody else's nomination. And then we'll need to choose characters. So after you all have done that by midnight on Friday, I'll go through and I'll look at all your postings, and I'll try to determine what seemed to be the most popular 5 characters, which I also think, from my experience teaching the class, would be good for the assignment. Because some characters you might think, oh, that would be good, but then, oh, it ends up being really tricky to do the rest of the stuff you need to do. So then I'll say, okay, here's some popular ones, and all of these would be good. And I'll put those out there on the Step 2 discussion board. Right now it says number 1 through 5 to be announced or to be determined. I'll change that to the actual title of the character, and you'll go on and post under whatever character you want to do. Hey, this is my number 1 choice, and then go under another one and say, hey, this is my number 2 choice. Hopefully everybody can get their number 1 choice, but I want to have at least 4 people in each kind of group. 4 people doing one character. Everybody in the class can't do the same one character. We need to divide it up a little bit. So I'll try to, but I'll do that after you all have made your preferences clear. Which again, that's due the second week of class, June 13th. Again, Friday, 11 to 9 p.m. Just post those things. Here's my first choice. Here's my second choice on the appropriate thread. Then I'll let you know pretty quickly thereafter what you got, who your character is, and then you can begin collecting assessment data. Right. So there are a series of personality scales or personality quizzes in your textbook under assessing your own personality. And what I want you to do is several of these that I've listed for you on a document. I want you to answer the questions on those scales as if you were the character you've been assigned or the character you've chosen. Right? So how would Harry Potter answer these questions? Right? And do that for all the scales on the list that I give you. And that list is posted in the Step 3 discussion thread, I believe. So you do that, and for each scale in your text it tells you how to calculate the scale score. So your job for this third step to get 10 points, jump back a second, the Step 2, choosing a character, 2 points for doing that. Easy. Right? For Step 3 it's a little more work, so 10 points. You go through, you do all those things, and then there's a form that I posted on the discussion board that I want you to download, and then you put in your numbers. Okay, so here's what I said Harry Potter would say for this scale, this scale, this scale, this scale. Right? And you post that to the Harry Potter thread in Step 3, and then everybody else who has that same character will also post their data to that that same thread. Right? Once everybody's posted, now you can each of you go back and calculate. Okay, well, what's the average of what everybody said? So on average, we all think that this character was a 4.7 on the scale, or whatever it is. Okay, so to get 10 points, you just do all the assessments that are on that list I give you, and then submit your results with that form that I give you. Easy squeezy. Okay. Step 4. So this is what you're all kind of working toward, writing the character personality profile. And here's where you're going to go through and give some background about the character. Okay, it's a whatever point in their life. It's a 42-year-old female who's married and has 2 kids, whatever. You give enough information about their background that somebody who isn't familiar with that character would have an idea of who they are, what world they inhabit, right? And then you're going to go through and talk about their personality. And I've given you a form and a rubric in that assignment tab that tells you exactly what things I'm looking for and how they'll be evaluated. But basically, you're going to be describing their personality and citing data that you got from Step 3. So from your numbers and everybody else in your group's numbers, taking that average. Okay, this character, people generally feel that they're high in this, low in this. They're typical, they're average in this, whatever scale, whatever thing you're talking about. And you want to, as much as you can, tie that back to stuff in the textbook. So, for a trait theorist would suggest that this person is extroverted, right? Or whatever you're going to say, tie it back to the book. And you don't have to, whenever you say, a trait theorist would say this, you don't have to cite a chapter in your book. I know you're talking about the stuff from your textbook. So I'm not going to require you to do APA citations for this. So you're going to describe the personality, and then you're also going to give me some information about how you think they came to have that personality. And the more you can use personality theory to describe this formation process, the better off you're going to be. But again, if you go to the assignment tab, you'll see a form that has directions and a rubric. And if you have any questions about the assignment after reading through that, let me know. But I'd say before you even do step 1, go to that step 4 and look at those directions in that rubric, because you'll know what the end goal is. Then it'll be easier to do steps 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Okay. Chapter quizzes. So there'll be 8 quizzes that cover the readings in the textbook and the video lectures. So and typically each quiz covers 2 chapters. Chapters 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, yada yada yada. Those each worth 2 points. They'll be timed. You have an hour to do them. They're multiple choice. If you've done the reading and watched the videos, I expect them to be pretty straightforward, not intentionally tricky, but they're also not just kind of fill in the blank. Like, I don't just take a sentence in the textbook and take one word out and then that word is the answer. You actually do have to understand the material and be able to apply it to really do well on these quizzes, especially as we get further and further into the semester. So read, then watch the videos, then take the quizzes. In the quizzes, these chapter quizzes, at the end of the syllabus, that calendar, it shows the deadlines, and these things you can't do. Like if you don't do the quiz by 11:59 p.m. on the Friday that it's supposed to be done, at midnight you'll no longer be able to start it. It will no longer be available to you. You won't be able to click on it. So get ahead doing the quizzes, I would recommend, because if you get ahead a little bit, then if something comes up, it'll be easier to say, oh geez, the chapter 9-10 quiz, I haven't done it yet, but this week I can't do anything. That's okay, because the syllabus is only at the chapters 5-6, and I can afford to miss a week of not doing a quiz at all. So that's the story with those. There'll also be some article quizzes, which will be over those articles that I referred to already, that you'll see the list of in the article list. And this will require you to obviously read some empirical articles and do your best to understand them. And you'll be a lot of it will be applying stuff that's covered in the second chapter of the book in that video lecture, Studying Personality. So I'll be asking, okay, in this study, what was the independent variable? What was the dependent variable? So you need to make sure you know what an independent and dependent variable are to be able to answer those types of questions. And I'll ask you things like, what were the author's primary conclusions? What limitations did the authors identify? That type of thing. Just to kind of make sure that you're able to read through and understand the empirical literature related to personality theory. Final exam at the end of the semester will be comprehensive, mixture of multiple choice and essay questions. And again, a lot like the quizzes, it's not just I take words out of sentences in the text. You have to be able to apply the information. Excuse me. You'll have 3 hours to do the final on the day that it's posted. Once you start, it'll be open book, open note, obviously. Obvious to me. I guess let me know if you have any questions about that. Some other stuff in the syllabus you can read about the technological requirements. Make sure that your browser is compatible with Blackboard. I've been using Google Chrome lately, and it seems to be doing pretty well. If you have issues, tech support, you can email the help desk, or as of right now, I think you can talk to a live person at, and this is under syllabus 254, 519, 5466. There's also the online chat function. I've used that sometimes, and it's been pretty helpful. The biggest thing that comes up, people not being able to view the videos sometimes. So if you're viewing this one, you're not having that problem. But if you hear of other people having the problem, you can let them know. Make sure they update Java and turn off their pop-up blocker. And the other thing is people sometimes get kicked out of quizzes, especially if you're taking a quiz and you have another browser window open. Sometimes Blackboard will kick you out. If that happens, just email me on Blackboard and say, hey, I get kicked out of a quiz, can you reset it? And I won't be able to save your answers, but I can reset it to 0 and let you start over. But you'll need to let me know pretty quickly, because again the quizzes aren't available after that 11:59 p.m. deadline. Okay. Academic integrity. Again, expect you to do your own work in this course. On that character study assignment, you will be working with some of your classmates who share the same character as you in terms of sharing data, and you can also, in that discussion forum where you're sharing data, I think it's a good place to ask questions, especially about that character's background. Like if you end up, your favorite character doesn't end up being one of the top 5, and you end up getting some character that was your second choice, and you kind of know a little bit about them. You say, "Geez, hey, you guys, what's the deal? Who's this person? Well, did they have a father and a mother? Were they from a single-parent family? Did they have siblings?" Yeah, it's fine to ask that sort of stuff from your classmates about the character. And even if you want to kind of go into, I think this person might have an inferiority complex. What do you guys think? That's fine. And all that sharing information, groovy. But when it comes time to write that personality profile, you need to be doing that independently. If I see 2 papers and they're incredibly similar, okay, now I'm going to suspect that there may be a violation of the academic integrity policy, and that gets very unpleasant. So, collaborate up to a point, preparing for the assignment, but then when you go to write it, you need to be working solo. Okay. And obviously, quizzes and exams, they're open book, open note. You should do them by yourself, and you should not be accessing any kind of old quizzes, old exams. I've given no approval for any kind of test bank from previous times I've taught this course. And if I suspect you are doing that, sometimes I'll change a question slightly. And if somebody doesn't pay attention, they'll answer, and they've got a test bank, they'll answer the old question, and I didn't ask that old question, and now I know they have a test bank, and now again it's a violation of academic integrity, and we got to go talk to Paul York and unpleasantness. So let's not do that. Okay. In terms of support services, library is great. There's even a psychology department has its own kind of web page within the library that the library put together for us that links to a lot of the databases you would typically use when studying psychology, and also has a lot of little videos that they put together about writing research papers, which not necessarily helpful for this class, but may be helpful for other classes taking in this department. Disability support. If you have a disability and wish to self-identify, make sure you go through the disability support coordinator, and they'll get me the paperwork saying what accommodations you need. Be glad to talk with you about that, but we have to do that at the beginning of the semester. You can't come to me, right before the final exam and say, "Oh, I need to have 6 hours for the final." You should have told me that at the beginning of the semester, because the university policy is you talk to the professor and you, the professor, work out what accommodations are appropriate. Right? The disability office doesn't say, "Oh, you have to do this," or the student has to have this. You have to work it out with each professor. So make sure you do that if you need to. You can read about the UniLert and tutoring. You gotta drop policy if you're going to drop. Check the deadlines, and that's your responsibility to take care of that, because I won't be. In terms of grading, you can look on the syllabus, the point layouts. One thing I tell people, sometimes I have to in Blackboard, it doesn't weight assignments the way that they're weighted in the syllabus. And so if we look at your total points on Blackboard, sometimes that's not accurate. So I always tell people, calculate your grade yourself by hand, and that's the most reliable way. And if you aren't sure about your grade, calculate yourself. Email me and say, hey, I think this is what I have right now. Is that right? And I'll be glad to say yes, that's right. But don't just say, hey, what's my grade? Because you can do that. One comment about grades. I hope all of you get A's, and I hope that because that will mean that you all learned the material and were able to communicate that you learned the material, and it will mean that your lives went fairly smoothly. And I hope that for you. Some of those things may not happen. You may not learn the material. That would be very unfortunate. You may learn the material but not be able to communicate clearly that you learned it. That would also be unfortunate. And then the third thing, which I think is even less fortunate, would be you could learn everything, communicate it clearly when you turn it in, but then life really goes down the drain for a week or two, and you end up getting behind, missing some deadlines, getting some zeros, turning stuff in late, and then your grade doesn't reflect what you learned. And that is incredibly unfortunate, but I can't grade you on kind of a life curve. Wish I could. I can't. I can only grade you on what you turn in and under the rules of the syllabus. If you have a really horrible summer, and I hope none of you do, if you have a horrible summer but you still manage to scrape by and get a B or even a C, then sometimes you should be really proud of that B or that C, given the circumstances that you went through. And I certainly would be proud of you too, but I can't be proud enough of you to automatically give you an A. Sorry. Okay, late work policy. Like I said, the quizzes, they're due when they're due. They can't be turned in late. They won't be available to you. For the assignments, those discussion postings you have to do and then turn in that last assignment, it's 10% per day up to the 5th day, 50%, and the 6th day still 50%, 7th day still 50%, 8th day it's 100% deduction. You can't turn anything in after 7 days. You could turn it in, but you won't get any points for it. So even if you're a couple of days late, still turn it in, get some points. But if you go past a week, you're not going to get any points. Okay, like I said a couple times, course calendar is at the end of the syllabus, and it has when I recommend you view lectures and the readings that go with that, and then also has the deadlines for assignments and assessments, and everything's always going to be due on a Friday at 11:59 p.m. of that particular week. Summer, 8 weeks. That's intense. That's a lot of stuff for us to get through. I hope you all get through it well, in good psychological health, and I hope you learn something about personality. I think it's a really interesting and important part of the study of psychology. So I wish you all the best of luck this semester, and please don't hesitate to contact me if there's anything about the course that's confusing or just something that you're interested in and you want to know more about. I'd be glad to go more in depth with you in emails or even possibly meeting up at the office or over the phone. All right, take care.